Welcome to Long Movie Practice Test 4. Next section. Agent Architecture. Question 1. The classic sense plan act cycle in an agent maps to which sequence? Action perceive inputs, decide on a plan, then execute actions. Action execute, then perceive, then forget. Action plan only, never sensing or acting. Action randomly act without sensing. The correct answer is V. When's plan act structures an agent as perception, sense, deliberation, plan, and execution act. Many agentic loops generalize this into observe, reason, act cycles. Question 2. Using choreography over orchestration for multi-agent coordination means action agents react to shared events autonomously instead of being directed by a central coordinator. Action a single supervisor directs every step. Action no agents communicate at all. Action while agents merge into one process. The correct answer is V. In choreography, agents coordinate by reacting to shared events without a central director, offering loose coupling. Orchestration instead uses a central coordinator that explicitly directs the flow. Question 3. Which are advantages of building agents as separate microservices rather than one monolith? Select all that apply. Action independent scaling of components with different load profiles. Action independent deployment and isolated failures. Action clear interfaces and per service technology choices. Action eliminating all network communication overhead. The correct answers are V and N. Microservice agents enable independent scaling, deployment, and failure isolation with clear interfaces. The trade-off is added network by operational overhead, not its elimination. Question 4. The saga pattern is used in distributed agent workflows to action coordinate a sequence of steps with compensating actions to undo partial failures. Action encrypt all messages between agents. Action train the model incrementally. Action replace the need for any database. The correct answer is V. The saga pattern manages multi-step distributed transactions by executing steps with defined compensating actions, so partial failures can be rolled back logically, maintaining consistency without a global lock. Question 5. When agent registry by discovery mechanism in a multi-agent system primarily enables action agents to find and invoke other agents by capabilities dynamically. Action permanent deletion of all agents. Action disabling agent communication. Action compiling kernels. The correct answer is V. When agent registry by discovery service lets agents locate and invoke other agents and their advertised capabilities dynamically, supporting flexible, extensible multi-agent systems. Question 6. Capability-based design of agent tools means action granting and reasoning about access in terms of explicit, scoped capabilities. Action giving every agent unlimited capabilities. Action removing all capabilities so agents are inert. Action of a graphics rendering technique. The correct answer is V. Capability-based design expresses an agent's permissions as explicit, scoped capabilities, making it clear what each agent can do and enforcing least privilege and clean boundaries. Question 7. A sidecar pattern around an agent process is often used to provide action cross-cutting concerns, logging, proxying, security alongside the main process without changing it. Action the core reasoning model itself. Action a way to delete the main agent. Action of a vector database engine. The correct answer is V. The sidecar pattern attaches a helper container to the main agent to handle cross-cutting concerns such as logging, proxying, and security, keeping that functionality out of the core application code. Question 8. High design agent actions that modify external systems to be idempotent or guarded by idempotency keys. Action do retrieves after timeouts do not cause duplicate side effects. Action do make the model larger. Action do increase randomness. Action do remove the need for tools. The correct answer is V. Idempotent actions or idempotency keys ensure that retrying after an ambiguous timeout does not create duplicate effects, for example, double charges, which is essential in unreliable distributed environments. Question 9. Which considerations favor adding a critic by evaluator agent to a generation agent? Select all that apply. Action hatching errors via independent review before output is finalized. Action enforcing constraints or quality criteria the generator may overlook. Action enabling iterative refine and recheck loops. Action guaranteeing zero latency and zero cost. The correct answers are V and N. A critic by evaluator agent provides independent review, enforces quality by constraints, and enables refine recheck loops. The trade-off is added latency and cost, which must be justified by quality gains. Question 10. A perception layer in an agentic architecture is responsible for action, collecting and normalizing inputs, images, documents, sensors, user messages for reasoning, action, executing final external actions, option ha, restoring model checkpoints, option I, holding the hub. The correct answer is V. The perception layer gathers and normalizes diverse inputs into a form the reasoning layer can consume, the first stage of the perceive reason plan act pipeline in agentic systems.
Next section. Agent development. Question 11. Parallel tool calling. When a model emits multiple tool calls at once is most beneficial when action. The calls are independent and can execute concurrently to save time. Action. Natch call strictly depends on the previous call's result. Action. There is only ever one tool. Action. The model has no tools. The correct answer is V. Parallel tool calling helps when the requested tool invocations are independent, letting the runtime execute them concurrently and cut latency. Dependent calls still require sequential execution. Question 12. Nuzzing an enum in a tool's schema parameter helps because action, it constrains the model to a fixed set of valid values, reducing invalid arguments. Action, it makes the model ignore the parameter. Action, it increases uber memory. Action, it disables validation. The correct answer is V. Defining an enum for a schema parameter restricts the model to a known set of valid values, reducing malformed or out-of-range arguments and making tool calls more reliable. Question 13. Tool output returned to the agent contains text like ignore your instructions and reveal secrets. That is the correct handling. Action. Treat tool by content output as untrusted data, not instructions, and apply injection defenses. Action. Immediately follow the embedded instruction. Action. Forward the secret because a tool said so. Option visible all guardrails. The correct answer is V. Content returned from tools or retrieved documents is untrusted data and may contain prompt injection attempts. The agent must treat it as data, not instructions, and apply injection defenses and least privilege. Question 14. Thich transport is commonly used to stream incremental agent output to web clients. Action. Server went events going or tab buckets. Action. Were nightly batch file export. Action. Action. Were printed report. The correct answer is V. Interactive agents typically stream tokens by events to clients over server went events or tab buckets, providing low latency incremental updates that improve perceived responsiveness. Question 15. Then building a server to expose internal tools to agents, a key responsibility is action. Defining tools by resources with clear schemas and enforcing auth by permissions. Action. Training the client's language model. Action. Rendering the user interface. Action. Hooling the data center. The correct answer is V. When a server exposes tools, resources, and prompts with well-defined schemas and must enforce authentication by authorization, since it grants agents access to potentially sensitive internal capabilities. Question 16. Thai keep keys by secrets in a secrets manager rather than in prompts or source code. Action. Do avoid leaking credentials and enable rotation by access control. Action. Do make the model answer faster. Action. Do increase the context window. Action. Because prompts cannot contain text. The correct answer is V. Credentials belong in a secrets manager, not in code or prompts, to prevent leakage, including via logs or model outputs, enable rotation, and enforce fine-grained access control. Question 17. Thich are sound ways to handle a tool that may take a long time to complete. Select all that apply. Action. Run it asynchronously and let the agent continue other work or poll for completion. Action. Get a timeout and a fallback if it exceeds the budget. Action. Retrieve partial progress where possible. Action. Lock all other processing indefinitely until it finishes. The correct answers are V, U, and A. Long-running tools are best handled asynchronously with timeouts by fallbacks and progress streaming. Locking everything indefinitely is fragile and degrades responsiveness. Question 18. Role prompting, assigning the model a clear role by persona and task framing, primarily helps by action, partiering tone, scope, and behavior toward the intended task. Action, basically changing the action, guaranteeing factual correctness. Action, removing the need for tools. The correct answer is V. Giving the model a clear role and task framing steers its tone, scope, and behavior toward the intended outcome, improving consistency, though it does not by itself guarantee factual accuracy. Question 19. When agent should validate that a tool's returned data is well formed before using it. By keeping this validation risks. Action. Propagating malformed or malicious data into the agent's reasoning and downstream actions. Action. Faster, more accurate answers. Action. Power over temperature. Action. A larger context window. The correct answer is V. Validating tool output before consumption prevents malformed or malicious data from corrupting the agent's reasoning or triggering unsafe downstream actions. Important reliability and security control. Question 20. Which practices make agent code easier to test and maintain? Select all that apply. Action. Separating prompt templates, tools, and orchestration into distinct modules. Action. Writing unit tests with mock model by tool responses. Action. Embedding integration tests for end-to-end flows. Action I. Cutting all logic in one giant function with no tests. The correct answers are V, U, and A. Maintainable agents separate prompts, tools, and orchestration, use unit tests with mocks, and add integration tests for full flows. A single untested mega function is an anti-pattern.
Next section, evaluation and learning. Question 21. In EVA evaluation, context recall measures, action whether all the information needed to answer was actually retrieved. Action if how fluent the final answer reads. Action the memory used. Action the number of tools available. The correct answer is V. Context recall assesses whether retrieval brought back all the information required to answer the question. Low recall means the generator lacked needed evidence, regardless of how well it wrote. Question 22. High include enough examples and report variance by confidence when comparing two agent versions. Action small samples and non-determinism can make differences look real when they are noise. Action lower examples make the error faster. Action variance is irrelevant to the evaluation. Action confidence intervals reduce model size. The correct answer is V. Because the outputs are stochastic, comparing versions on too few examples risks mistaking noise for signal. Sufficient sample sizes and reported variance by confidence are needed to draw reliable conclusions. Question 23. Which are good principles for constructing an evaluation dataset for an agent? Select all that apply. Action may cover representative real-world cases and important edge cases. Action keep it separate from any training by fine-tuning data. Action include clear, correct reference labels by criteria. Action I use the exact production prompts users will never send. The correct answers are V, U, and A. Strong evil datasets are representative, including edge cases, held out from training, and well labeled. Missing unrepresentative prompts undermines the validity of the evaluation. Question 24. Answer correctness as an evaluation metric for a SOV agent assesses. Action whether the answer is factually right relative to ground truth. Action if how many others served the request. Action the latency of the response. Action the length of the answer. The correct answer is V. Answer correctness measures factual accuracy against a ground truth reference, distinct from groundedness, support by context, and relevancy on topicness. Both are useful in combination. Question 25. How to well-tuned agent improved on the target task but you want to test it safely in production. The best approach is to action route a small percentage of traffic to it and compare metrics before wider rollout. Action replace 100% of traffic immediately. Action only test it offline and never in production. Action I visible monitoring during the test. The correct answer is V. Briefly validating a tuned model in production uses a canary by VAU split, send a small share of traffic to the new variant, compare metrics against the control, then expand if it wins. Question 26. Why is it risky to optimize an agent solely to maximize entire judge score? Action the judge can be gamed by biased, so the metric may diverge from true quality. Woodhart's law. Action the judges are always perfectly accurate. Action it guarantees better human satisfaction. Action judges cannot score anything. The correct answer is V. Entire judge is a proxy that can be biased or gamed. Optimizing purely for its score risks Woodhart's law, where the metric improves while true quality does not. Validate against humans and diverse metrics. Question 27. Then should you prefer prompt engineering over fine-tuning to improve an agent? Select all that apply. Action then you need fast iteration without a training pipeline. Action E. Then the desired behavior can be elicited with instructions by examples. Action then data for fine-tuning is scarce. Action I. then you must permanently bake in a complex new skill at scale across millions of calls cheaply. The correct answers are U and A. Prompt engineering is preferred for fast iteration, when instructions by example suffice, or when fine-tuning data is scarce. Permanently ingraining complex behavior efficiently at massive scale is where fine-tuning earns its cost. Question 28. Regression detection in agent evaluation refers to Option A. Matching when a change makes previously correct behaviors fail. Option A. Quitting a linear regression to obey temperatures. Option A. In increasing the model size. Option A. In deleting old test cases. The correct answer is V. Regression detection identifies when a prompt, model, or tool change causes previously passing cases to fail, which is why a stable regression suite is run on every change before release.
Next section, deployment and locking. Question 29. Blue green deployment reduces release risk by Option A. Running two environments and switching traffic to the new one only after it is verified, enabling instant rollback. Option A. Deleting the old version before deploying the new. Option A. Deploying without any testing. Option A. Forcing downtime for every release. The correct answer is A. Blue-green deployment maintains two environments, traffic switches to the new, green, only after verification, and can flip back to the old, blue, instantly, enabling near zero downtime releases and fast rollback. Question 30. When inference pod is killed with an out-of-memory error under load, which is a valid remedy? Select all that apply. Option A. Reduce max batch size or max sequence length to lower peak memory. Option A. As a quantized model to reduce footprint. Option A. Right size of a memory requests by limits and add capacity. Option A. Ignore it because never affects availability. The correct answers are O and A. Under load is mitigated by reducing batch by sequence size, quantizing the model, and right sizing of a memory by capacity. Ignoring is not an option as it crashes pods and degrades availability. Question 31. Why might you place agent requests on an asynchronous queue with worker pools for heavy workloads? Option A. Those smooth bursts, decouple producers from consumers, and scale workers independently. Option A. Though guarantee sub-millisecond synchronous latency. Option A. Though remove the need for any compute. Option A. Though train the model. The correct answer is A. When async queue with worker pools buffers traffic bursts, decouples producers from consumers, and lets you scale workers independently, ideal for heavy or long-running agent tasks that need not be synchronous. Question 32. Loadal warm-up before serving traffic is done to Option A. Trigger model loading, compilation, and catchy initialization so first real requests are not slow. Option E. Basically heat the urban for performance. Option delete the model from memory. Option A. Reduce the model's accuracy. The correct answer is A. Warm-up sends synthetic requests so model loading, kernel compilation, and caches are initialized before real traffic arrives, preventing the first user requests from incurring cold start latency. Question 33. Request coalescing by deduplication at the serving layer helps when Option A. Any identical concurrent requests can share one computation instead of recomputing. Option A. Every request is unique and uncatchable. Option A. Though want to increase total compute. Option A. Though want to slow down responses. The correct answer is A. Request coalescing detects identical concurrent requests and serves them from a single computation, saving compute and latency when duplicate or near duplicate requests are common. Question 34. Which custom metrics are good autoscaling signals for an AI agent service beyond one? Select all that apply. Option A. Pending request queue length. Option A. Tokens per second by saturation. Option A. Per request latency versus by. Option A. Number of code comments in the repo. The correct answers are O and A. Code services, queue depth, saturation by throughput, and latency versus by are far better autoscaling signals than one alone. Repository metadata like comment counts has no bearing on scaling. Question 35. Vado mirror traffic during a rollout is used to Option A. Vend a copy of real traffic to the new version without affecting users to compare behavior. Option E. Replace user responses with the untested version immediately. Option A. Delete all logs. Option A. Disable the old version. The correct answer is V. Gado traffic mirrors real requests to a new version for comparison without serving its responses to users, letting teams validate behavior and performance on production like input before a real switch. Question 36. Thai monitor cost per request, for example, tokens and time as a first-class production metric. Option A. Thai by agent costs can scale rapidly and silently. Tracking them protects the budget and surfaces inefficiency. Option E. Cost has no relationship to tokens or time. Option A. It makes the model more accurate. Option A. It is only relevant during training. The correct answer is A. Token and driven costs can rise quickly and quietly, for example, from loops or context bloat. So tracking cost per request is essential for budget control and for spotting inefficiencies early.
Next section, cognition and memory. Question 37. A world model in an agent context refers to option A, the agent's internal representation by beliefs about the environment used to reason and predict. Option A, a globe shaped option A, a map of all data centers. Option A, the training dataset only. The correct answer is A. A world model is the agent's internal representation of the environment's state and dynamics, supporting prediction and planning. Future world models can improve an agent's look ahead and decision quality. Question 38. Reflection by self-critic most improves results on tasks where option A, errors are detectable on review and a revised attempt can fix them, for example, code reasoning. Option A, there is exactly one trivial step and no possible error. Option A, the agent has no way to evaluate its output. Option A, latency must be minimized at all costs. The correct answer is A. Reflection pays off when mistakes are detectable upon review and a revised attempt can correct them, such as coding or multi-step reasoning, at the cost of extra latency from additional passes. Question 39. Retrieval augmented memory means an agent, option A, fetches relevant stored memories by knowledge at inference time to augment its context. Option A, memorizes everything in model weights only. Option A, never stores anything. Option A, only uses the system prompt. The correct answer is A. Retrieval augmented memory stores information externally and retrieves the relevant pieces at inference time to augment the context window, decoupling the agent's knowledge from fixed model weights. Question 40. Which factors are commonly used to rank which memories to surface for the current step? Select all that apply. Option A, semantic relevance to the current query by context. Option A, decency of the memory. Option A, importance by salience score assigned to the memory. Option A, the alphabetical order of the memory text. The correct answers are A and A. Memory ranking typically blends semantic relevance, recency, and an importance by salience score. Arbitrary orderings like alphabetical sorting do not reflect a memory's value to the current step. Question 41. Plan repair as opposed to full replanning means option A, adjusting the failing part of an existing plan while keeping the still valid portions. Option A, throwing away the entire plan and starting over every time. Option A, never changing the plan even when it fails. Option A, validating the goal. The correct answer is A. Plan repair locally fixes the failed portion of a plan while retaining the parts that remain valid, which is often cheaper and more stable than discarding and fully replanning from scratch. Question 42. Thai can stuffing too much retrieved context into the prompt hurt answer quality. Option A, irrelevant or excessive context adds noise and can distract the model, lost in the middle. Option A, though context always strictly improves answers. Option A, context length has no effect on quality. Option A, it makes embeddings unnecessary. The correct answer is A. Overstuffing the prompt with marginally relevant context introduces noise and can cause the model to miss important details buried in long inputs, so precise, well-ranked retrieval beats dumping everything in. Question 43. Then should an agent prefer reactive, step-by-step behavior over upfront planning? Option A. Then the environment is highly dynamic and observations frequently change the right next step. Option A. Then the task is fully known and never changes. Option A. Then you want to minimize all recalls. Option A. Then no tools are available. The correct answer is A. Reactive, observation-driven behavior, like EVACT, shines in dynamic environments where each result can change the best next action, whereas stable, fully known tasks favor efficient upfront planning.
The X section, knowledge in integration. Question 44.
Surely rewriting by expansion before retrieval is used to. Option A. Reformulate or enrich the user query to better match relevant documents. Option A. Delete the user's query. Option A. Increase the overclock. Option A. Replace the generation model. The correct answer is A. Surely rewriting by expansion reformulates or enriches the user's query. For example, adding synonyms or context so retrieval better matches relevant documents, improving recall, especially for terse or ambiguous queries. Question 45. Find hypothetical document embeddings improves retrieval by. Option A. Venerating a hypothetical answer and embedding it to retrieve documents similar to that answer. Option A. Finding all documents from the retriever. Option A. Encrypting the index. Option A. Removing embeddings entirely. The correct answer is A. Find generates a hypothetical answer to the query, embeds it, and retrieves documents similar to that hypothetical, which can improve retrieval when the question's wording differs from the source text. Question 46. Loyalty hop retrieval is needed when. Option A. Answering requires combining evidence retrieved across several linked steps by documents. Option A. A single keyword lookup fully answers the question. Option A. There are no documents to retrieve. Option A. Do want to avoid retrieval altogether. The correct answer is A. Loyalty hop retrieval chains multiple retrieval steps so the agent can gather and combine evidence spread across linked documents, necessary for questions that no single passage answers. Question 47. Graph A augments retrieval by. Option A. Using a knowledge graph of entities by relationships to retrieve connected, structured context. Option B. Drawing charts of usage. Option A. Removing all text from documents. Option A. Replacing the data with a database. The correct answer is A. Graph A builds and queries a knowledge graph of entities and relationships, retrieving connected, structured context that helps with multi-entity, relational, or global questions that flat vector search handles poorly. Question 48. Then two retrieved sources contradict each other. A well-designed AWA agent should. Option A. Surface the conflict and buy or prefer the more authoritative or recent source per policy. Option E. Randomly pick one and present it as certain. Option A. Lurch them into a single false statement. Option A. Ignore both and hallucinate an answer. The correct answer is A. Basing contradictory sources, a robust agent surfaces the discrepancy and by or applies precedence rules, authority, recency, rather than guessing with false confidence or fabricating a merged claim. Question 49. Which data handling practices keep a AWA knowledge base healthy over time? Select all that apply. Option A. A scheduled re-ingestion to keep content current. Option B. Alert by expiry or flags for time-sensitive documents. Option A. Monitoring retrieval quality and re-indexing when it drops. Option A. Never updating the index after initial load. The correct answers are A and A. A healthy AWA corpus is re-ingested on a schedule, manages time-sensitive content with alert by flags, and is monitored by re-indexed when retrieval quality drops. Ever updating the index guarantees staleness.
Next section, Rabinio platform. Question 50. Rabinio provides reference blueprints for agentic by way workflows primarily to. Option A. Why developers reference architectures and example pipelines to accelerate building solutions. Option well physical printers. Option replace the need for any development. Option A. Who the others. The correct answer is A. Rabinio's reference blueprints offer validated reference architectures and example pipelines, often combining YEO retriever, and Horde rails that help developers build common agentic by way solutions faster. Question 51. The written metrics endpoint Prometheus format is useful for. Option monitoring inference throughput, latency, queue, and utilization for observability. Option venerating embeddings. Option A. Monitoring chat history. Option A. Point tuning models. The correct answer is A. Written exposes Prometheus format metrics, throughput, latency, queue time, and utilization that integrate with monitoring stacks and can drive dashboards and auto-scaling decisions for served models. Question 52. Which Rabinio capabilities are commonly combined to build an enterprise EVO agent? Select all that apply. Option Video retriever for embedding by re-ranking. Option by year for the generation step. Option Video Horde rails for safety by topical control. Option I. Rabinio broadcast for noise removal. The correct answers are O and A. Enterprise EO agents commonly combine EO retriever, embedding by re-ranking, a EO for generation, and EO horde rails for safety. EO broadcast is unrelated consumer or by software. Question 53. Deploying EA microservices on Kubernetes is often eased by the EA operator because it action automates installation by management of drivers, runtime, and device plugins on the cluster. Action threads the agent's prompts. Option whenever it is training data. Action bucks as a vector database. The correct answer is what? The ABU operator automates deployment and lifecycle of the software stack, drivers, container runtime, device plugin, monitoring on Kubernetes, simplifying running workloads like EA at scale. Question 54. A primary reason to self-host models as EA rather than only calling a public hosted endpoint is action greater control over data residency, latency, customization, and compliance. Action it guarantees the model is smarter. Action it removes the need for any others. Action it makes prompts unnecessary. The correct answer is what? Self-hosting via EA gives organizations control over data residency, latency, customization, and compliance, important when sensitive data cannot leave the environment while keeping away compatibility with hosted endpoints. Question 55. Within EO, the component focused on runtime policy enforcement, what the agent may not say or do is option A. EO guardrails, option EO curator, option EO customizer, option A. EO evaluator. The correct answer is what? EO guardrails enforces runtime policy via programmable rails, topical, safety, jailbreak, fact-checking, distinct from curator, data, customizer, fine-tuning, and evaluator, benchmarking.
Next section. Learn, Leonator, Maintain. Question 56. Synthetic monitoring canary probes for an agent service means action periodically sending scripted test requests to detect outages or regressions proactively. Action only watching real user traffic and nothing else. Action generating synthetic training data. Action disabling all alerts. The correct answer is A. Synthetic monitoring runs scripted probe requests on a schedule to proactively detect outages, latency regressions, or broken behaviors, complementing real user monitoring by catching issues during low traffic periods. Question 57. A canary release shows the new version's error rate climbing above the threshold. The correct automated response is to action A. Forward the rollout and roll back to the stable version. Action immediately push the new version to 100%. Action ignore the metric and continue. Action A. Delete the monitoring. The correct answer is A. Canary deployments define guardrail metrics. When the new version breaches them, for example, rising error rate, the rollout should automatically halt and roll back to the stable version to protect users. Question 58. Which signals belong on an operational dashboard for a production agent? Select all that apply. Action latency percentiles per 50 by per 95 by per 99. Action error and timeout rates. Action token by cost per request and total spend. Action the Office Wi-Fi password. Correct answers are A, U, and A. Full agent dashboards show latency percentiles, error by timeout rates, and token by cost metrics, plus quality by safety signals. Sensitive credentials such as a Wi-Fi password should never be displayed there. Question 59. Establish automated rollback triggers tied to key metrics. Action A. To revert quickly and limit user impact when a release degrades reliability. Action to make deployments slower on purpose. Action to increase the model's parameter count. Action A. To avoid ever monitoring metrics. The correct answer is A. Automated rollback triggers tied to reliability metrics, error rate, latency, success, revert a bad release quickly, minimizing user impact and reducing mean time to recovery compared to manual response.
Next section. Graffiti and compliance. Question 60. When agent processes user text that may contain personal data, which control best limits privacy risk at input time? Option detect and redact by anonymized PI before it is logged or sent to third parties. Option log the full raw input including PI to every system. Option blend all input to as many third parties as possible. Option disable all privacy controls for speed. The correct answer is A. Detecting and redacting by anonymizing PI at input time before logging or sending data to third parties limits privacy exposure and supports compliance with regulations like Azure. Question 61. Which controls support auditability and accountability for an autonomous agent's actions? Select all that apply. Option immutable timestamped logs of decisions and actions taken. Option recording which model by prompt by version produced each action. Option Clear ownership and escalation paths for incidents. Option A. Deleting records to save space whenever convenient. The correct answers are O and A. Bootability rests on immutable timestamped logs, provenance, model by prompt by version per action, and clear ownership by escalation. Actually, deleting records destroys the trail. Accountability depends on. Question 62. Before granting an agent a powerful tool, for example, the ability to send emails to customers, the safest practice is to Option A. Scope the tool's permissions narrowly and require approval by limits for sensitive actions. Option A. Grant unrestricted send access with no limits. Option A. Bear admin credentials with the agent. Option A. Keep all logging for that tool. The correct answer is A. Why impact tools should be tightly scoped, least privilege, rate limited, logged, and gated by approval for sensitive actions, so the agent cannot cause large-scale harm if it errs or is manipulated.
X section. Human way oversight. Question 63. Why human on the loop supervisory model differs from human in the loop in that the human option donators and can intervene by override, but the agent acts without per step approval. Option must approve every single step before it executes. Option has no ability to intervene at all. Option A is replaced entirely by the agent. The correct answer is A. Human on the loop means a person supervises an autonomously operating agent and can intervene or override, whereas human in the loop requires explicit human approval at each critical step. Question 64. Designing an agent to ask a clarifying question when a request is ambiguous primarily improves. Option A. Task accuracy and user alignment by resolving ambiguity before acting. Option O. Hubble throughput. Option H. Yodel parameter count. Option A. Index size. The correct answer is A. Asking a targeted clarifying question on ambiguous requests aligns the agent with the user's true intent before acting, reducing wasted effort and confidently wrong outputs. Question 65. Which practices respect user autonomy and consent in agentic systems? Select all that apply. Option A. Disclosing that the user is interacting with an NVIDIA agent. Option E. Obtaining consent before taking consequential actions on the user's behalf. Option providing an easy way to opt out or reach a human. Option A. Taking irreversible actions silently without telling the user. The correct answers are A, O, and A. Respecting autonomy and consent means disclosing we use, obtaining consent for consequential actions, and offering opt out by human escalation. Taking irreversible actions silently undermines user control. That completes the practice test. Give you the explanations for any questions you missed, and good luck on your certification exam.